Good morning, students. In the last session, I have explained about chemical properties of metals and nonmetals. In this session, I'm going to teach about displacement reaction and what are the uses of metals and nonmetals. So this is the last topic of this chapter, displacement reactions and what are the uses of metals and nonmetals. So here one activity they given, take 500 ml beakers and label them A, B, C, D, E. So you are going to take 5 beakers. What is the measurement? 100 ml beakers, and you have to label them A, B, C, D, E. Take about 50 ml of water in each beaker. So it means half of the beaker you have to fill with water. 50 ml of water in each beaker. Dissolve in each beaker a teaspoon of each substance. So in each beaker you're going to put different substance. 5 beakers, in each beaker you are going to put different substance. Okay, in 1 spoon you can put it. It will dissolve in it. You know what is meant by dissolving? It will soluble in water. That is called dissolving. Okay, so dissolve in each beaker a spoon of each substance. Then we have read that one metal displaces another metal from its compound in aqueous solution. So one metal can displace another metal from its compound, okay, in aqueous solution. So in beaker A, zinc replaces copper from copper sulfate solution. So I told A, B, C, D, there are 5 beakers. In the beaker A, zinc replaces what? Replaces copper from compound. Which compound? From copper sulfate solution, CuSO4. Zinc Zn, copper Cu, copper sulfate CuSO4. That's why the blue color of copper sulfate disappears. Copper sulfate, that is blue in color. When it replaces, zinc will replace copper. The blue color of copper sulfate disappears and a powdery red mass of copper is deposited at the bottom of the beaker. So the blue color disappears, and which color is getting? It's getting a powder like red color, powdery red mass. It's deposited at the bottom of beaker. The reaction can be represented as follows. First, copper sulfate CuSO4 plus zinc Zn. Copper sulfate in bracket is given blue color. So what are the products? The zinc, it will replace copper. So zinc sulfate will form. Zinc sulfate ZnSO4 plus copper. Okay, copper it separates. Cu. This copper, it will be colorless or red color. You can write down the reaction taking place in beaker B in a similar manner. So here what we are learning, one metal can displace another metal from its compound. But there are some exceptional cases are there that I'll teach you after later. So one here, which metal replace? Zinc replaces copper from copper sulfate solution. That is in the case of beaker A. Then there could have been displacement of zinc by copper in beaker C. In beaker C, what are you going to replace? There could have been a displacement of zinc. Zinc is just opposite. Zinc replaced by copper. Zinc by copper in beaker C and by iron in beaker E. Similarly, iron could be displaced by copper in beaker D. Iron is displaced by copper in beaker D. Since we do not see any change in beaker C, we can infer that copper is not able to replace zinc from zinc sulfate. So what is happening in the beaker C, we cannot see any change. The reason is, the first case I told, in A beaker, zinc replaced copper, but here just opposite. Copper is not able to replace zinc from zinc sulfate. But why? When zinc can replace copper in beaker A, why cannot copper replace zinc in beaker C? That is a question. In copper A, zinc replaced copper. But in copper C, just opposite, copper cannot replace zinc. Okay, what is the reason for that? So we have to learn one principle. What is the principle we're going to learn now? The rule here is that zinc is more reactive than copper and iron. Which is more reactive? Zinc is more reactive than copper and iron. A more reactive metal can replace a less reactive metal. but a less reactive metal cannot replace more reactive metal. So this is a principle. So if you are taking these metals, zinc, copper, iron, which is more reactive, zinc is more reactive. The more reactive metal can replace less reactive metal, but less reactive metal cannot replace more reactive metal. Okay, so that is the reason copper cannot replace zinc from zinc sulfate. Now you can understand why there is no displacement of reactions in beaker D and E also. Clear? So this is the principle. So you have taken 5 beakers A, B, C, D, E. You have taken different substances, but one metal, I told, one metal can replace another metal, but there are some rule. What is the rule? More reactive metal can replace less reactive metal, but less reactive metal cannot replace more reactive metal. Okay, so that is the reason in the beaker A it can do, because zinc replace copper, but in beaker C just opposite, copper cannot replace zinc because it is copper is less reactive than zinc. Clear? Then what are the uses of metals and non-metals? So here metals are used in what are many uses of metals and non-metals, as you know. But here they are used for making machinery, automobiles, aeroplanes, trains, satellites, industrial gadgets, cooking utensils, water boilers, etc. You are also familiar with the uses of some non-metals also. Okay, so metals nowadays, without, we can't imagine without metal how we will, because that many uses we have in our day-to-day life. We are using metals for many purposes. But same like even the non-metal also. Let us see. Here there are some questions they given. Uses of non-metal. Okay, here are some interesting ones. We are sure that you will guess them right. Okay, so I only will tell the answer. Non-metal essential for our life, which all living beings inhale during breathing. Which non-metal we will take during breathing time? Oxygen. Non-metals used in fertilizers to enhance the growth of plant. Which are the non-metals? Nitrogen, phosphorus. Non-metal used in water purification process. Which non-metal is used in water purification process? Chlorine. Non-metal used in the purple colored solution, which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic. Which non-metal will be using? Iodine. Clear? Non-metal used in the purple colored solution, which is applied on wounds as an antiseptic? Iodine. Non-metals used in crackers? Sulfur. So these all are non-metals you see nowadays. Without non-metal also, you know how much essential these non-metals. So oxygen, then second fertilizers, I told, nitrogen and phosphorus, then water purification, chlorine, then for purple color, for wounds, we are using iodine, the non-metals used in crackers, sulfur. So all these are non-metals, but they are very useful in our day-to-day life. Okay, so you may add some more uses of metals and non-metals from your experiences. Then what are elements? You have learned that in a chemical reaction, new substances are formed. These substances are different from those which underwent the reaction. Now, if a substance cannot be broken down further by chemical reactions, by cooling, heating, or by electrolysis, it is called a element. Element means it is the simplest form. It is a simplest form of a. You have learned in the smaller classes molecules. What is molecule? Usually, you will tell all the matter is made up of molecule. Okay, all the solid, liquid, gases, they are made up of molecules. Here again, you are coming to the smallest form. You will tell atoms. Atoms are joined together for molecules. So same like here, which is the simplest form, element. If a substance cannot be broken down, it means that is the smallest, simplest form. It cannot be broken down further by chemical reactions, by cooling or heating or by electrolysis. It is called element. Sulfur is an element. So this iron carbon 2 is an element. The smallest unit of an element is atom. Okay, I told just now the smallest unit of element, which one? It is atom. The sample of an element contains only one kind of atoms. So we are taking one element, it contains only one kind of atoms. The atoms of an element remains unaffected by physical changes in the element. Okay. For example, an atom of liquid sulfur would be exactly the same as the atom of solid or vapor sulfur. So it means it's made up of same type of atoms. An atom of liquid sulfur would be exactly the same as the atom of solid or vapor sulfur. Okay, sulfur it is made up of same type of atoms. Although we have an indefinite variety of substances in the universe, the number of elements forming these substances is limited. There are no more than 92 naturally occurring elements. So nearly 92 elements are present. There are no more than 92 naturally occurring elements. And important classification of element is in terms of metals and non-metals. Most of the elements are metals, less than 20 are non-metals. Yes, most of the, if you are taking this 92 elements, most of the elements are metals. Less than 20 are non-metals. If you are metalloids, what is meant by metalloid? If you are metalloids which possesses characters of both metals and non-metals. If you are metalloids which possess characters of both metals and non-metals, they are known as metalloids. So these are a few keywords you learned from this chapter: atom, conductor, displacement reaction, ductility, elements, hardness, malleability, metals, metalloids, non-metals, sonorous, etc. Okay. Thank you, students.